Okay, so we are opening, well, actually, this might already be opened. I'm not sure. I thought I'd ordered two. This isn't seal wrap, so I could have opened it already. Doesn't really matter because the contents are the same. Comes with two, it's like 30-sided dice. I'm not sure for what. I've never learned the rules of this one. Then looks like two posters. I'm not gonna really open those up. And then the key feature, two decks. Now, this is from quite a while ago. They launched this Kickstarter. This is probably, which is kind of funny because there were some that straight up never delivered to me. Maybe only one. I think I only bought one that didn't deliver. But this is the one I sort of regret getting the most, some sort of tokens. Because never really resonated with me, the art or anything really about it. And I only picked it up because for those of you who are familiar with Rudy of Alpha Investments fame, during the giant Kickstarter boom, he very stressed that you should stay away from most of these games, of which, for the most part, I listened, and for the part I didn't listen, there's only one real case where I shouldn't have listened to that advice, and I'm glad I didn't. But in this one, it's glowing fox there. The reason I decided to back wasn't because I liked the art or the characters or the story. I'm really still not familiar with it, but rather because Rudy had mentioned that one thing he had thought was a good use of Kickstarter in the card world was to expand your game. And that seemed to be the case from this. This is actually, I believe this is from the set prior to the Kickstarter, but for some reason you could order it with it. And I believe that was their fourth set, so it had actually been around for a while before the Kickstarter, and they were, it seemed, just using the Kickstarter to expand. It seemed like it was very much, I believe they're located in Vancouver. And so it seemed to me that they were using their Kickstarter to expand from like maybe a regional game to the wider market. And so that seemed like, to me, something, a good opportunity to get into. So I believe this is the only game I've ever bought where I really didn't see the appeal, but I just wanted to get in on something for purely mercenary reasons. And so I really regret giving into that. This game I do not consider, well, it's debatable. They are claiming to be releasing another set, and they have released one other set past the Kickstarter. But I consider this rug card game not just a failed card game, and that is because I believe it's still active, although there aren't any current rewards for it. But they ran a Patreon during the period that the Kickstarter was up. And in it, there are various tiers, and since you are getting physical product, none of them were particularly cheap. I believe I subscribed to the second lowest, which was like, to me, the only one. The lowest wasn't worth considering for the price for what you got. And they would give you promos and then some older cards or older packs, depending on which tier you got. But what happened was, without warning, they stopped giving out rewards. So I ended up paying for 2 months, because since they're in Canada, it did take quite a while for most of their monthly pay. It would be very close to the next month when their monthly shipments would arrive. And so I didn't notice not getting it until the next month, so I ended up paying. And I believe at that time they had raised it, so the tier I's was $15. I ended up paying that for 2 months, and that is why I consider it a rug instead of just a failed card game. This set in particular, I believe, because they were printing it in the middle of 2021 or so, they were doing what everyone was doing and ended up overprinting way too much. And so this set and the Kickstarter set actually have no value whatsoever. You can find boxes for $20 to $50. The Kickstarter set in particular, they seem to have reprint. A lot of games seem to do this, and I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because you know, with the way CCGs go, you really need to have a second set lined up when the first one is printing and shipping. And so by reprinting the kickstarted set, these games, they hope to expand to a wider market that might have not heard in time and missed the initial offering, and also that gives them an extra 4, 5, or 6 months to come up with their real second set. But to me, it's really what kills a lot of these games, because the people who backed the original version, they don't want the second version because, you know, they know it's not going to hold as much value 9 out of 10 times, and they have what they've got. So unless they're going to just have fun, you know, they might buy a box or two of the second edition to have fun opening it or drafting it or playing it with their friends so they can keep what the first edition sealed. The people who backed aren't going to buy it. And then the general public are aware that they're buying a cheaper, less desirable version, and so they're not going to want to get into it. So you basically wasted the time and money making a set that nobody's really getting excited for, that nobody really wants, and you only made it to so you could have more time coming up with your real second set. So the only case where I've seen the second edition be desired and sought after is with Sorcery. None of these other games, they don't. So it's really bizarre to me. If you watch this and are in the process of making a game or want to make a game one day, just have your second set ready to go when you're offering your Kickstarter to people, because otherwise, by the time you're ready to publish it, the public will have lost interest, and you will 9 out of 10 times become one of these failed games. So here I have some of the extras. I bought 2 sets of these. These were, I believe, $10 or $15. This was a total waste of money, but like my reasoning was premium things like this do in a lot of cases hold up some collector value, but in this case, I believe those are completely worthless. And here, I'd always wondered why this game really didn't go for foils, but here we have the answer. These were promo cards for the Kickstarter. Now, I won't claim to have kept these in the absolute perfect conditions, but these are only a few years old now. They were kept in a temperature controlled environment, and as you can see, they are still sealed, and we have just an insane, what the professor likes to call Pringles curling. These are just insanely curled. So I'd always wondered why they didn't go for foiling that much. I have no idea why they included this, but for some reason it came with a poker chip. Most likely completely worthless. Which, it's so bizarre to me that they included it, because poker chips are not a cheap component. So to have one, or perhaps there were different ones for different tiers, I'm not certain, but to have that that would have cost them not insubstantial amount. But so here we have these extremely curled Kickstarter promos. So this does seem to be, maybe it's even a complete set of all of the heroes of the set. Now, another reason why I think this might not have gone so well for them is the set that they chose to do. They called it Origins. So I believe these are younger. This might have taken place in the past of their setting. I believe these are like past versions of established characters. And to me, I could see why to them that makes sense. But, since they were wanting to bring this to a new audience, but it's just a boring concept, and that it's even Magic couldn't pull off doing an origin set. That's regarded as a very poor set, although that has something to do with, I'm sure, of people being upset about them doing away with core sets at the time. But I don't believe it has improved in regard in any meaningful way. So I do believe this was a rather poor concept for theming the set that they were hoping to branch out to more people with. Just very boring theming. So they did release one set after this, which I had hoped to pick that one up, since I was sure that at this point this was a completely failed card game, but that set seems to, at least the boxes, I don't know about the single cards, but it seems to hold some value, so I might not be able to get a hold of it. $90 for me for a box for a game that I expect holds no actual value as a single market. There is no category for this for TCG player. I was not able to find really single pricing anywhere, but so I most likely will not get any of those to open. And supposedly they are releasing a set. I found two different times that's claimed to be releasing those, so at this point I'm highly uncertain whether that will release, but supposedly you can look for their latest set in December. A lot of their older sets do seem to hold, for a failed card game, quite a bit of value. However, the set before the Kickstarter and the Kickstarter set itself hold absolutely no value. You can find them between $20 and $50 a box. I would not recommend getting this at all. To me, I don't particularly like the art, and the gameplay seems a bit overcomplicated, and highly disappointed in how this turned out, and getting basically scammed for a couple months of Patreon. I have a couple boxes that I got from the Kickstarter. I might open those. I also might revisit my promo cards that I got from the Patreon, since I'm curious to see if they fared any better, or if they are would equally be at home in a can of Pringles as the ones we saw today. So that'll be all. I'll stream tomorrow. We might be doing something a bit different. I might be going back to MetaZoo, or I might be opening another box of this. We'll see.